Welcome to the Diva T-Town. Welcome to the Diva T-Town, where bold, confident women embrace life unapologetically. From love and sex to wellness and reinvention, we keep it raw, real, and powerful. No filters, no limits. Just fearless conversations to help you thrive. Let's dive in with Diva Mia.
Well, hello, this is Diva Mia, and today we're going to talk more about your libido. I know it's very important to a lot of women out there because for some women, it feels like your libido changes overnight. It feels like your hormones change in such a way that everything seems to shut down. But let me ask you something. Have you ever gone from wanting sex regularly, thinking, oh, I need sex at least once a week, at least 3 times a week, at least 5 times a week, to settling and thinking I could literally never have sex again and that would be fine with me? It happens to people in their middle age, and some women decide they just don't want sex anymore. Everyone tells you, oh, honey, it's just hormones, or you'll get over it. It's just a shifting. You're going through menopause. You're getting older, or it's just perimenopause. But what if it's not? What if I told you that your libido didn't disappear? It just got shut down. It's still there. You can reignite your libido, but it takes a little bit of work, and it's not done completely by estrogen or by your brain, but there's stress too. There can be stress, there can be exhaustion. You might even have some resentment that's been building over time that you didn't even know was building. That's why sometimes therapy is very helpful when you have libido issues as well. We're talking today about why your libido changes, and it seems to happen overnight. And the real reason most women are never told this is because a lot of times doctors don't realize what's going on. And women are very mental driven. We are very focused on our minds. If we don't feel safe, if we resent our partners, if we're not feeling like it's a 50-50 or a give and take, and if it's just take, women's libido shuts down and we just don't want sex anymore. What happens? There's science and psychology behind it all. First, let's get kind of straight to the matter of hormones. Yes, hormones do matter, but they're not the only driver in libido. A lot of times I think people just say, oh, go get on testosterone or go check your estrogen or your progesterone or whatnot. I don't think people realize that hormones aren't the only thing for women that drives our libido. The reality is you could be in one relationship and have no libido and then get out of that relationship and your libido take off, which is a sign that it's not just hormonal. It's a sign that there was something in that relationship that was not making you happy, that was keeping you down or holding you down, that wasn't making you feel satisfied or protected or safe. With women, when we're in our minds a lot with sex, and we don't feel safe, we don't want to have sex. You don't want to have sex with somebody that doesn't make you feel safe, and safety for women is important. Here's one thing I've talked to people about is women are always on guard. Every time we walk outside of the house, every time we go to a bar, every time we go anywhere, we're kind of always looking around to make sure we're safe. When you're with the right man, he will make you feel safe and you can let your guard down a little bit. But if you're constantly in that fight or flight, trying and desiring to feel safe, and you never feel safe around that man you're with, you're not going to let your guard down. You're not going to be able to open up and your libido is going to shut down. Your libido lives in your brain. It's a very big sex driver. It's mostly neurological. For women, our key areas involved are our hypothalamus, our prefrontal cortex, our amygdala, and our dopamine reward path, our dopamine reward center. That's why when we feel safe and protected and joyous, our libido kicks off. Your libido is a motivation system. It's not just a reproductive system, ladies. For women, it motivates us to be more in shape. It motivates us to be more sexy. It motivates us to be more in our power when our libido is going. The kicker is it's very dopamine driven for us. And our desire, we have to feel that dopamine. Cortisol, if you're stressed, will suppress your libido. If you're going through a period of lots of stress at work, or if you're going through a lot of stress with your children, or if you're going through a lot of stress with your partner, your libido is going to get shut down. Sometimes it's chronic stress. I will say I was in a relationship where I had chronic stress where I was working so many hours, like 70, 80 hours every single week without vacations. My libido, it got shut down because I did not feel safe in the relationship. On top of the fact, I did not feel like I had the ability to be free and take a day off and take a break because I was constantly in this cortisol cycle. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol. It can flood. When you're chronic stressed, it never stops. Chronic stress levels can elevate your cortisol 2 to 3 times your normal levels in people. Women, we just take that cortisol and we just keep going. We have the ability to withstand a large amount of pain. That's why we do so well with childbirth, because we can handle a lot of pain. And we can also handle a lot of mental pain. All this stress and this high cortisol is going to suppress your dopamine. When your dopamine gets suppressed, your testosterone gets reduced as well. So your testosterone comes down, you may gain some weight, you may lose some muscle mass. And women, we need testosterone. We need it just as much as men, maybe not at the high levels that men have it, but we need testosterone as well. So once our testosterone goes down, we start to gain weight. We get even more stressed out. It's kind of like an endless cycle downward. And our oxytocin, it lowers as well. That's our bonding response to our partner. If our oxytocin's gone down because we're constantly stressed out, we're not going to feel that deep bond that we used to feel with our partners. Then we'll have reduced blood flow to the genital tissue in general. And with that reduced blood flow, we are not excited by our partners. You have like a double, triple, quadruple-edged sword of your libido when you're under stress and the high cortisol that's created. Then research has shown that, 30 to 50% of our sexual desire can be reduced when we're under chronic stress. So you used to have sex 5 times a week. Now you may only want it once every 2 weeks, once a week. It depends on you, but you may not want it at all because it's completely shut down. You'll have increased difficulty to even get aroused. And when you do get aroused, you may not have an orgasm because your orgasms may decrease because your hormones are messed up. Your cortisol is elevated. Your testosterone is down. So there's hormone relations, and a lot of the hormones that affects libido is cortisol and stress and exhaustion. If you're not sleeping well enough, that can also affect your cortisol levels. And all that exhaustion can lead to a lack of desire, a lack of orgasm, a lack of intimacy with your partner. Most women in their 40s, all the way up to the 70s, honestly, we're feeling career pressure that we've never had before. We also feel caregiver stress. It may be that you're in the point where your child's going off to college. It may not be. You could be in your 40s and still have a toddler. There's a lot of caregiving stress. You might also be taking care of your parents at this age. Sometimes, if we're honest, ladies, a lot of times we feel like we're taking care of our men to a level that a parent would a child. We feel like we're taking care of our partners. There can be financial pressure because not only are you taking care of everyone, but now you're taking care of all the finances too. And women, we have put a lot on ourselves. And men, you've got it easy. I know men think, oh, we've got it so tough. But women are doing a lot more than they've ever had to. Because not only do we take care of the family and the household, but now we're also running businesses and companies, and we have a lot of financial pressure. Then we have aging parents that we might be taking care of, and teenage children. This can cause marital strain. It can cause pressure that we're not used to having. It can burn us out big time. Then on top of it, the men tend to go through their midlife crisis and behave badly at this age. So then we're taking care of that situation as well. Our nervous system, it doesn't prioritize sex when it thinks we're just surviving. If we're trying to just survive, we can't prioritize sex because we're barely getting by as it is. Our stress is going off the charts. We're running businesses. We're taking care of children. We're taking care of households. We're taking care of all kinds of things and possibly our parents as well. Then you add a little bit of sleep deprivation and that drops our testosterone levels even more. Sleep deprivation can drop your testosterone by 10 to 30% in a week of just sleeping 5 hours or less. I know for myself, it's rare I get over 5 hours. This can drop your testosterone as well. In women, poor sleep is associated with decreased sexual desire. It just does. No matter what you do, if you're not getting sleep, you're not going to be able to get aroused. You might even have pain during intercourse because I know that when I don't get sleep, I have a drier issue. If I don't get sleep, I'm not as aroused. I'm just not as into it. There was a study done at the University of Chicago, and it found that women who slept an additional hour were 14% more likely to engage in sex the next day. If you can just get 6, 7, 8 hours a day, you're more likely to be. Well, first of all, it decreases your cortisol levels as you sleep. If you're sleeping 3 to 5 hours, like most high-performing women are, people that are running businesses, because we got so much on our minds, running companies, we're taking care of people on top of that, your libido is biologically suppressed. It's no wonder that a lot of high-powered women, a lot of professional women, their libido just shuts down because we don't have the ability to do any more. We're tapped out. We are done. When we do so much that our partners don't help pick up the slack, we have even less and less desire. That is a problem for men and women. And men, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to come and help a little bit nowadays because women, we're doing way too much. There can be resentment as well. And resentment it will shut down libido faster than menopause ever could. If you resent your partner for not helping out at home, if you resent your partner for making you the primary breadwinner, if you resent your partner for disrespecting you or any of a number of things, your libido is going to shut down. Here's why. Your brain associates sexual intimacy with safety, trust, and emotional connection. If you're not feeling safe because they're not stepping up when you need them, or you don't trust them because when you ask them to do something, they don't do it. This happens a lot, man. We ask you to do stuff and we have to tell you 10 times. Every single time, that chips away at our trust of you. Or we expect you to show up on time and you show up 30 minutes late consistently or 15 minutes late consistently. That violates our trust. If we have to fend for ourselves constantly, you're not doing your job, man, because your number one job is to make your woman feel safe. What that does, it helps our it causes our emotional connection to start to fade. Ladies, once the emotional connection starts to fade, your libido fades with it. It can be in a new relationship where this happens, or it can be in an existing relationship. Time doesn't have to, it's more about the connection and what your partner is doing to help you through this. If you're taking on 100% of all the stress and strain, you're not going to perform. You just don't. You might feel underappreciated. If you want to feel unappreciated for all you do, that can have an effect on your libido, or you're overburdened or unseen, or I will say, for me, disrespect is the number one reason why my libido shuts down. If I feel disrespected, I'm not having sex. I'm just done. If your lover is not doing enough and you feel like you're taking care of him like a mother instead of his lover, you're going to start to separate and drift away as well. Your brain's going to shift from being a sexual partner to having a partner that's a dependent on you. When you have a person that's dependent and you're constantly taking care of them, and your brain shifted to that, it's not very attractive, men. We don't want men that are making us take care of them. We don't want men that have us being their mommy. It's not attractive. We are mothering our children as it is. Why do you think that women want to take care of another man? If you disrespect your woman, she's already started to pull away. The more you disrespect, the more she pulls away. That's one thing that men I don't think get. I think they think that there has to be this massive shift, or you have to cheat on your partner, or you have to, granted that does affect it as well, but women, they start to detach every time you disrespect them. After a while, they will just walk away, depending on how big the disrespect is. But it could be just a final straw that you disrespected them one too many times and then they're gone. The female brain doesn't sexualize someone if it feels responsible for them. If we feel responsible for everything you do and then you disrespect us, we'll walk away. But if you make us your mommy as well, we're going to walk away, but we're not going to feel sexual to you. If we feel like we have to take care of you, we're not going to feel sexual. Dissatisfaction occurs. It correlates very strongly with low libido in women as our hormone changes and we get over 40. It's because we just don't want to take care of men anymore. We expect a man by the time he's 30 to be able to take care of himself and at least add support to the woman. I will say, I went through a pregnancies, all taking care of myself throughout my whole pregnancies. When you realize you're doing everything yourself, taking care of yourself for your pregnancies, running your companies while you're pregnant, taking care of the household, running the bills, taking care of everything. You're no longer sexually attracted to your partner. I don't know how much I can repeat that. Men, you're doing it to yourselves. You're getting lazy. You're getting comfortable because your wife has done everything for you. Women, quite frankly, part of it is on us because we do tend to take care of people. But we are looking for them to reciprocate. When they don't, we still keep taking care of them. What ends up happening is men, they just get lazy. They're like, she's doing my laundry. She's doing the dishes. She's taking care of the household. She goes to work 40 hours a week, and she takes care of the kids, and she picks up the kids, and she runs everything for the kids, and she puts them to sleep at night, and she helps them with their homework. Then a man shows up and expects respect. We give it to him. But at the same time, that level of disrespect, it just keeps chipping away at the relationship. It keeps chipping away at the sexual desire. Relationship dissatisfaction, it predicts if you're dissatisfied, you're going to have low desire. The low desire, just from the lack of respect and the dissatisfaction in the relationship, can be bigger than a very low estrogen levels. Because again, remember, ladies, it's in our brain. If we're not turned on, if we don't have if we have too high of cortisol and our dopamine is low, we're just not going to be sexual. Sex researcher Dr. Emily Nagoski explains that your libido, you have an accelerator thing that turns you on, but there are brakes that turn you off. Those brakes are disrespect. Those brakes are stress. Most women in midlife, our accelerator hasn't broken, but the brakes get slammed on. If we have too much of a mental load, or we have body insecurity because our man makes us feel disrespected, or unspoken anger, or our needs aren't being met, where our brakes are starting to get slammed on. And you'll find that when you get into a different relationship with someone that respects you and cherishes you, your accelerator will be on and your brakes won't be slammed on anymore. Your libido's not gone. It's just vanished because you're with the wrong person. It's blocked. That person's not helping take care of you. They're actually chipping away at you every single day. But how do you fix it? I know we've talked a lot about what it is and why, but how do we fix it? You don't start with hormones, although it's important as we get older to manage our hormones, but that's not the only thing. Your nervous system is regulation, has clarity, and it's deregulated right now. The first thing to do, though, is let's fix our sleep. It's a non-negotiable. You have to start sleeping over 6 hours a night. Over. 7 to 8 hours should be your minimum goal because you're hormonally you're capping yourself anyway. You're going to gain weight if you're sleeping under 6 hours. 7 to 8 should be your minimum, and it should help you get through some of the stress and decrease some of the cortisol as well. You can do this by taking magnesium glycinate, around 400 milligrams a day if you can, depending on how stressed you are. Put your phone away 60 minutes before bed. Don't even look at it. Don't have it next to the bed because if you wake up in the middle of the night, you turn on that phone, it's going to keep you up longer. If you're having blood sugar issues, have some protein at dinner. Don't eat high sugar foods at night. It also messes with your liver. You don't digest things as well. But protein at dinner is better to stabilize your blood sugar. And keep the bedroom between 65 and 68. Now, for me, that's a little cold. I like mine around 69 to 70, but 65 to 68 is what they recommend for most people. It helps improve your sleep. If you can just improve your sleep by 1 hour, your desire is going to go up 14%. You have to lower your cortisol throughout the day as well. You need to downshift your nervous system. This is a 5-minute reset that you can do every day just to downshift your nervous system. It's a 4, 7, 8 breathing. 10-minute walking in sunlight helps as well. So the 4, 7, 8 breathing helps. 10 minutes walking in the sunlight. Sunlight helps, especially with your circadian rhythm as well. A 30-second shower at the end of a shower also helps. You can also do 10 minutes of deep belly breathing before bed. That helps with stress to release some cortisol. Research shows that slow breathing lowers your cortisol by up to 20%. If your body feels safe and relaxed and respected, your desire is going to return as well. If you're in a relationship where you don't feel safe, if you don't feel respected, it may be time to end that relationship. If you carry emotional loads that you shouldn't have to be carrying, then you need to talk to your partner. Here's a script that you can use. All right. So if you're with a partner and you're feeling overwhelmed, here's what you say. I love you, but lately I feel overwhelmed and unsupported. When I feel like I'm carrying everything, I don't feel connected to you. When I don't feel connected, I don't feel desire. I need partnership to feel passion. This is not going to blame your other partner. It's going to give them some clarity as to why you're feeling the way you're doing. Men, honestly, they're kind of dense when it comes to this. I know I've been in relationships where it started off great and then it just started to fizzle. I felt like I was picking up the slack on everything and it just got boring. You need to just clarify how you feel with your partner. Another way is to say, I miss wanting you. I think that it's because I'm exhausted. I need us to rebalance responsibility so I can feel like your lover again, not your manager. This is important, guys, because I think a lot of times we feel like we're managing our men and it's exhausting, and men, you don't realize it, and then you wonder why your wife or your girlfriend's not turned on for you anymore. Well, it's because she's exhausted, because all she does is work to make sure that everything's taken care of, and you're not picking up the slack. Desire is trainable. We have to rewire our brain, but you can boost dopamine naturally. You can do date nights. I know date nights would help if you were in a relationship, whether it's a new relationship or an old relationship. Strength training helps too because it increases your testosterone. You can also be very flirtatious on text. I know some people think it's weird, but if you're flirting on text, it does help as well with your dopamine levels. And then when you're kissing someone, make sure you're kissing them or hugging them for at least 20 seconds. Before you touch someone, kiss them. Kissing helps with sexuality too. There's such a rush, a dopamine rush when you kiss someone. But exercise will increase your testosterone by 15 to 20%. Post-workout, you may be more excited than you are first thing in the morning. Just remember that. Then your libido will respond over time as anticipation grows. Sometimes the newness is great too. If you're stuck in a routine, your libido will respond more if you try something new. Get more excited about something. Check your testosterone. Okay, many women are told estrogen is the only thing when it comes to libido, but testosterone is extremely important. It drives your desire. Check your testosterone as well, because low levels will correlate with low libido, low motivation, fatigue, and your orgasms won't be as good, ladies, and I know that's so important. So if your testosterone's too low, you may need to start lifting weights. You may need to get put on testosterone, because it decreases as well as we get older. Our hormones decrease about 90% by the time we're postmenopausal. So if you think you can function as a 20, like you did when you're in your 20s, when your hormones are 90% less, think again. And your hormones are also, cortisol is all heightened. And then we wonder why we gain weight because, our testosterone's down, but our cortisol is up. Then we add stress to it. It's just a double-edged sword. If sleep, stress, and resentment are handled and desire still low, then definitely go and get a full workup done of your hormones because hormones are step 4, not step 1. Step 1 is just decrease and work your stress out first. So your libido doesn't disappear. It just got suppressed. Just remember that. It's suppressed by stress, sleep deprivation, emotional imbalances, mental overload, and unmet needs from your partner. You're not broken. You're just overstimulated. You're unrested. You need more sleep. I know for me, I think if I had limited funds, the first thing I'd do is just sleep. Here's the truth. Your desire requires safety. It requires safety and support. Support requires standards. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a woman who thinks that she's just aging and her libido's down, or she's just not as attracted to her husband or her new boyfriend that she used to be. She's not broken. She's just exhausted, and exhaustion is reversible. Lack of sleep, though, ladies, you got to fix that first. Decrease your stress. If you want more information, please reach out to us. Leave a review, share this episode, and remember, you don't lose your fire. You just need more oxygen for your fire. That oxygen is sleep. That oxygen is decreasing your stress and being with a partner that respects you and picks up their share of the burden. Until next time, stay bold, stay powerful, and stay a diva. I hope this has helped you. I hope that you can share this. Have a wonderful week. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We'd love hearing from you. Visit thedivadetails.com to connect. See you next week for more.
Diva Details podcast and website are intended solely for informational and entertainment purposes. The content provided does not constitute professional, medical, financial, or legal advice. We are not licensed medical practitioners, financial advisors, or legal professionals. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Any financial topics discussed are based on personal opinions and experience and should not be considered professional advice. The content provided does not constitute legal advice. The Diva Details and its affiliate contributors and guests are not liable for any losses or damages arising from use of our content. The opinions expressed in the podcast are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organization, sponsors, or partner. All facts discussed in the podcast are researched and accurate to the best of our knowledge at the time of recording. Information may change over time. No guarantees are made regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements or opinions presented. It is the responsibility of the listener to verify any and all facts that may influence their decision. This podcast is for information and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice.